Welcome to Bamfordrose and our first roundup of Trivia Tuesdays. A new feature that we've done where we put a couple of pictures up at different things to do with the Aston world and see what comments it brings about. Week one was Marek Reichman and Ian Callum. Obviously two gents that need no introduction whatsoever. And our question was, who are they and who was most influential? Who's done the best designs? Well, there's probably no right or wrong answer in any case. There are some interesting comments in and some other names that came up, Frank Feely being one of them. And before, in the Feltham days, before Newport Pagnell days, that was the era of car which that gent penned. And obviously Ian Callum, DB7, Vanquish, DB9 is his. V8 Vantage, I think you have to give most of the credit to Fisker. Beautiful design that car is. And well, Marek Reichman, well, the V8 has been designed by someone else. DBS was Fisker. So cars that are 100% Marek Reichman, well, 177, but if you read lots of stories on that, Miles Nürnberger is accredited for a lot of design on that, so I'm not too sure 100% what you could give credit to Marek Reichman for, apart from a controversial grille. In any case, an Aston Martin should be classic and understated, and DB7 and Vanquish, especially Vanquish, is a brute in a suit. I mean, this epitomises design language. And I think it comes down to who your favourites are, and yeah, Ian Callum seemed to win most votes on that one. Week two was Guest the CEO, and we had Dr. Betts, and we had Victor Gauntlet. Betts I've worked with, I've been in a few meetings with Betts directly. Victor Gauntlet before my era, and no matter who in the industry you come across, everyone comments about what a good fellow Victor Gauntlet was. I've heard from a few people a bit older than me who started their apprenticeships with Aston that it was signed, sealed and delivered with their parents in his office over a bottle of whiskey, and that was the type of person he was. CEOs in this day and age don't do that sort of thing. Noticeably missing is David Brown, arguably very influential in his involvement. And it's easy to think about the most current people rather than people from days gone by. But I think Betts has to win it. Okay, Betts has done some weird stuff in the latter days of his of being CEO at Aston, Signet, a few other things that were a bit questionable. But when he started off making the V8 Vantage, front engine, rear wheel drive, perfect 50-50 weight distribution, these were the instructions that he brought to design. And with V8 and DB9 and that whole investment from Ford to create that, Betts really did pull off a blinder. And I think he rightfully goes down as one of the best CEOs that company's had. Third Trivia Tuesday is Dynamics engineer, leader. I mean, back in the day of original V8 Vantage and DB9, Chris Porritt was in the media quite a bit, being quoted by magazines and stuff like that. He was also chief engineer for 177, so he's quite a famous figure for Aston. And Matt Becker now seems to be photoed everywhere in Aston publications, commenting on the drive of the cars. If you look at Porritt's era, I think he was governed by Ford lots. So you have cars that are massively underdamped and oversprung. And Becker's cars seem to handle how you'd expect a sports car, but it's a crucial difference here. One is an Aston. Okay, those early Vantage, they may have their handling limitations, but an Aston was never supposed to be the best braking, the best performing, the best handling car. It was always the most beautiful, and that's what defined the Aston. Some of today's Astons, they're edging towards more clinical, and that's not necessarily an Aston. It's a great sports car, but not necessarily an Aston. So whose work was most influential? Well, that will be down to your personal opinion. Next Trivia Tuesday was Guess the Racing Driver, and obviously across the years Aston have had no end. But if you're to name a couple of popular ones, has to be Darren Turner or Sterling Moss. The difference here is that looking back now, what the era of Sterling Moss did in the car that he raced in is looked back with such fondness. And the company, Aston as a whole, hasn't translated anything they've done in WEC, or Le Mans, Nürburgring, into the franchise dealership and into the public in terms of everyone knows Sterling Moss and pretty much knows what car companies he's raced for. You know, in several decades' time, I think Darren Turner is going to be long forgotten about, and Sterling Moss's name will still legendary live on. So, yeah, both have got good records, but in terms of heartwarming achievements, probably goes to Sterling. If you like this feature that we're running, then please like, subscribe, follow us. Also, if you'd like to send me through private message your own suggestion for a Trivia Tuesday, that would be really good. And if you're watching this Trivia Tuesday Roundup on YouTube, then you can catch our Trivia Tuesday series only on Facebook, which you can find a link to in the bio.